Hello and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox, and today I'm going to be starting a new series looking at the decks and playing some games with some specifically made decks. I'm going to be joined by one of my subscribers, Silveraptor, who I've played a few games with and posted videos with on the channel before, so you probably know who he is already. We're going to go through a number of decks. We're going to start off with the USA and the Great Britain deck, mainly because we're from the USA and Britain, I guess, and Silveraptor is going to be playing the USA deck and I'm going to be playing the Great Britain deck. So we're going to post one video looking at the USA deck, one video looking at the Great Britain deck, and then a couple of videos playing the games. Now, I want you guys to do, you guys that are watching, is to tell us if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, send us some comments, and most importantly, I want to know what decks you want us to build and what decks you want us to play with in the games, so that you can then compare your decks at home with the decks that we're building here and see how you get on in your games as well. I think it'll be a lot of fun and add something a little bit interesting to the gameplay as well. So without further ado, we're going to get on with Silveraptor and do the first deck, the USA. So hi Silver, and we start off with the logistics. What have you got in your logistics?
Thank you, Bubblebox. I've got a fob, first thing. I mean, everyone should have a fob in their deck, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't want it, if you don't want it at the start of the game, just get rid of it, all that.
Yep.
For command, I've got the M1025 Humvee CP. Reason why I chose this is that you can get 7 of them, and it has a bit of a machine gun on top, so why not?
Yeah. I've got the TACOM in the Huey, the infantry squad, mainly to give me a little bit so I can move around the map a little bit, maybe get behind enemy lines with a command possibly. But I've also got an Abrams. I know they're not the best command take and they are very expensive, but I got one just in case we get involved in some sort of a conquest game and we might need a command tank. That's the main reason for that.
For like artillery and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I've got like I said, I have the 7 commands, so I don't need any more command. So I'm going to go straight to my supply.
Yeah.
I chose the CH-53 helicopter. It has a bunch of supply. I use these mainly as sort of mini fobs that I bring closer to the front lines, not directly to the front, but closer. So I can use supply trucks or something. You can resupply instead of going all the way back to the fob to resupply.
Yeah, and they're pretty quick as well, it's 320 Ks, the same speed as a Super Chinook, so you may as well get these because you don't have to micro them around so much. They do carry a lot of supply at 3,700, like you say. So
yeah.
You got 2 cards of them, have you?
I've got 1 card of 3 of them.
Oh, okay. And you've got Hemp then, have you?
Yeah, I've got Hemp.
Yeah.
Those are my the truck to go to and from that helicopter when I put them up there.
Yeah, I've got the Hemp as well.
Interesting fact about the Hemp, the fact that it's armored. It's a good thing because, in the Desert Storm War, these would try to supply the Abrams tanks and stuff, and the Iraqis would just wait and try to ambush these things because they know they couldn't take an Abrams heads on, but they knew it needed lots of gas. So.
Yeah, these things are pretty decent. Definitely the best supply truck in the game, to carry a lot of fuel at 2,400, and they're pretty quick as well. And as you say, they've got a bit of armor, so can take a bit of a side swipe from an artillery shell or something and still survive.
Right. So
should we head on for the infantry? What you got there?
I've got 2 cards of U.S. Marine 90s and CH-46 Bronx. I just like infantry that come in squads of 15. I mean, they tend to will survive longer usually. Yeah,
the US Marines are a fantastic infantry squad. I've got exactly the same, but I've got mine in the LVTP 7A1s with the little grenade launchers, so I've just got those.
Those are pretty good vehicles too, yeah.
Yeah, can support the infantry nicely.
Yep. And after that, I've got some light rifleman 90s. Reason why I chose these guys is because they've got a ATGM. It has a 15 AP power, so it's not the best, but it will take out most armored cars and stuff, and it's mainly just for the range. It's just I want to take out anything close to 2 kilometers away.
Yeah, I've actually got the older light riflemen. I'm considering swapping them out, but I'll keep them for our games. But Yeah, I don't know why I got them. I think because they're a bit cheaper, and I like to bring, if I bring light riflemen, I like to bring them in right at the beginning in the Twin Hueys to try to, or sorry, in the Black Hawks to try to take an area really quickly at the beginning. And if they're cheap, I can get quite a lot in at the beginning of a game. I think that was my logic. But yeah, they've got a much better range on the 90 ones that you've got.
Yeah. Well, after the light rifleman 90s that I got, I also have some SMAWs, and these are like the best fire support in the game. The SMAWs, with their 21 AP power guns, just
yeah, they're pretty decent. They're good against infantry, good against tanks. They're only a small squad, but they make up for it in firepower, really.
right. They're very good at supporting like U.S. Marines and stuff against tanks and everything. And I got them in Twin Hueys to kind of like keep up and everything.
Yeah.
And then finally I got the Lad Stinger Cs to follow up with some anti-air.
What have you got them in?
I've got them in the regular UH-1 H Huey, and the reason why I did that is because I used to have these in Blackhawks, but for some reason, since the Blackhawks are so fast, these would always get to the front every time when I would try to send my infantry at the start of the game, and they get shot down.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same. The Lad Stingers in the Hueys. And I went for the Hueys just for something a little better, really, to carry them around in. Again, start of the game, get some forwards into some forward positions in a cheap chopper.
Yep. Anything else you have?
Yeah, I've got Assault Engineers. I've played the Assault Engineers a lot in Wargame L and Battle, and I've got them because I'm kind of used to them, and they're good for running through forests, taking out infantry. They'll take out most infantry in forests, apart from things like Spetsnaz, really. Which if they run into Spetsnaz, they end up in a bit of trouble. They're
also pretty good in buildings too, suppressing enemy infantry.
Yeah, I got those in Hueys as well, and I've got Delta Force. These are elite troops, like you say, like you've told me before. They're pretty good in buildings as well.
But I only really see them useful in just building combat because of how short range but the fire rate, 533 rounds per minute with their submachine guns.
Yeah. I think I got them as well because they're pretty fast. They can move along the ground fairly fast, so I do use them sometimes for trying to scout behind enemy lines a little bit and stuff like that.
Pretty expensive scout, but yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, true. So should we move on to support? What you got there?
Yeah. For support, I've got the M270 APACMS, whatever you pronounce that. This thing is a very good, very like snipey cluster bomb launcher. This is very good for taking out like vehicles in a small area that are there, heavy tanks and everything. It's also very satisfying to see the player, forget a ship, just having it sit out there that you can see for a long time, bring these in, and then just take out this ship because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Any other artillery?
No, that's my only artillery in this
Well, I've
deck.
got the Paladins, the M1096A Paladins. Pretty decent looking artillery piece.
Looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I've got that one, and I've also got, is that all the artillery I've got? Well, yep, that's all the artillery I've got. Everything else is pretty anti-air.
Yeah, me too.
You got the Patriots, yeah?
I've got the Patriots. I mean, why would you not have a Patriot in your deck at all?
Yeah, well, it's now superseded everything else. It's pretty much the best anti-aircraft, anti-air unit in the game now, I think.
It actually has longer range than any of the Seed aircraft.
Yeah.
The only trade-off is that these have to guide their missiles, so the anti-air Seed aircraft do have a chance of getting a fire and forget missile off against these things. But
yeah, they're pretty awesome. What other anti-air have you got then?
I've got one card of 9 Avengers. These are very good. Just fire on the move. They've got a same stabilizer as their accuracy, 70%, and you just send a bunch of these guys, and you pretty much control the skies wherever these things are around.
Yeah, I like these as well. I've got a set of these, 9 of these as well. Good for sort of rushing into areas. If you want to rush into an area of buildings with some infantry or something, you can rush these guys in with them to provide them a bit of air cover against helicopters and stuff like that. Although I wouldn't like to be, looking at the picture of them, I wouldn't like to be the guy just sitting in the back there. It looks a bit vulnerable.
Yeah. As is everything that, you're waiting for someone to shoot at you, right?
Yeah. So I've got chaps as well. I've got two types of chaps. I've got the long range ones, the M48A3s, and I've got a set of the M48A1s. I just think they're really nice, non-radar, get them into a position that's hidden, and they're going to do some damage to anything flying over.
Yeah, I've got the M4AA3s as well. I usually use these mainly to protect my Patriots because one thing the Patriots are really vulnerable to, since they can't shoot helicopters, is the Ka-52 recon chopper the Soviets have with their anti-radar missiles.
Yeah, sure.
So these are just, to keep those at bay.
Sure. I think that's it for my anti-air. Have you got anything else?
Nope, that's it for me.
Cool. Let's move on to the tanks. All the big tanks. What have you got here?
I've got the M1A1 HA Abrams, and the reason why I have this instead of the M1A2 is because I look at the price. I don't think the M1A2 with all those little extra gravy stuff, yeah, sure, it's nice, but it's just little icing on the cake. Does not really deserve like 35 extra points for all that, and so I decided to get.
Yeah, sure. I've got the same. I've got the M1A1HA Abrams, 3 of those hard, and I have actually as well got the one of the expensive ones, just a vet, just because I wanted the most expensive tank. Like you say, it's just a stupid reason, but yeah, that's basically why I took it. Yeah, you can always use it as bait to bait in their planes, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's true. I also have M1 IP Abrams, and I chose these instead of the M1A1s is because because they're exactly the same except for a gun, the bigger gun on the M1A1 Abrams. I don't think that gun is worth 45 extra points just for a slightly better gun.
Well, you might be right there, but I have actually taken the M1A1 instead of that one. But yeah, you might be right. I've got 4 hardened M1A1s, but I'll stick with those.
I'll just stick with the M1 IPs because those are the true American gun before they switch to the German gun.
Yeah, now one other tank I have got is an older looking, and definitely an older one, 1971 I think it is, the MBT-70. Some people love these and some people tend to hate them. I quite like them because they've got the nice anti-ATGM missiles, 6 of them, with a really nice range. And if you can get these things hidden away somewhere, they can take out quite medium and quite large tanks as they come sort of along the road and stuff with an AP power of 16.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the MBT-70 because that actually never got into production.
Right. Oh, okay.
Actually, this was a concept tank between West Germany and the Americas back in that time. They were both trying to create a good tank, and it went immensely over budget. And West Germany pulled out, and shortly after we Americans scrapped it. And both of us then eventually took the design that we had, and Americans made the Abrams, and the West Germans made the Leopard 2 based off of the MBT-70.
Okay, so it's a bit of a precursor to those tanks, really. So that's probably why it's a prototype in this game, despite being an older-looking kind of tank.
Right. It actually never got to the prototype phase. It's called MBT-70 because that was its code name. It never actually got a name after production.
Cool. Have you got any other tanks?
No, I just got those 2 tanks.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on to the recon. What have you got here?
First off, Navy SEALs and Progs. Navy SEALs, they're like the Spetsnaz of the Americans. They're very good at taking out other infantry. Very good to bring up as a forward line recon unit, which is weird to say, but you do need kind of some forward line recon units.
Yeah, I've got the same. I've got Navy SEALs. I've got mine in Twin Hueys, and I'm loving the green faces on them. I don't know whether that's meant to be algae or what. I don't know whether they've gone quite like that. Yeah.
It's camouflage when they're traversing through the jungle. They're supposed to be like stealthy, kill out a squad of people behind enemy lines.
Yeah. I've also got what have I got? Longbows. Have you got the longbows?
Of course. Who would not get longbows? And there's 16 anti-tank guided missiles. Yeah. I think these aren't even guided. They're fire and forget.
Yeah, amazing. So, and also, do they fire on the move? Stabilizer, 50% stabilizer as well. So
I think actually each time they fire 2 missiles back to back. So if one misses, one will probably hit as well.
Yeah, when I use them, they seem to fire really fast, and maybe it's just that they are firing 2 at a time. And
they are firing 2 at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, but awesome weapon. It's got a little gun as well, little like I don't know what you call that, a Gatling gun, is it, kind of thing? Autocannon, yeah, which they can use as well once they've used up all their missiles, yeah. Amazing, and with exceptional optics as well. And a little bit of armour as well, actually.
Yeah.
A bit of armour, cool. The last one I've got is the Bradleys. I've got 4 Bradleys, 4 hardened Bradleys. Not the best armour in the world, but again, if they're sat somewhere, they can take out a tank and they can keep an eye on things in open ground.
Yeah, I've got the M3A2 Bradleys as well. I can, if there's like a forest or something, I'm moving infantry up. I can use these service support for that, with their very good autocannon, and like you said, take out any tanks that come our way.
Yeah, cool. So what about is that all of the recon you got? Have you got anything else?
No, I actually have one more helicopter. It's the OH-58 Kiowa.
Yeah.
These things are 100 points, and pretty much I use these as sort of a fill in the gap for a longbow, or if I think there might be anti-air, I don't want to lose 50 extra points with that longbow, so I just stick these things in to get a good sting.
Yeah, I used to get them until the longbow came out, and then I just tried to just be very, very careful with my longbows, really, rather than get another one. But yeah, they are.
But I can't tell you how many times these things have traded their life for taking out a Tunguska at the same time, so it was actually even in points.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on to the vehicles?
Yep.
What you got?
I've got a one card set of LAV 25s. These are very good sort of infantry support vehicles. I'll move these in. Sometimes, and since they're amphibious, I'll move them like across the river as a scout. They're pretty cheap and everything.
Yeah, they are amphibious, which is a bit of a bonus because I've actually gone for 2 decks of these. So I've got 36 of them, and I can actually spam these. And occasionally, if I get the chance, I'll spam these at the end of a game just to rush into a region and finish off a command somewhere if we need to or something like that.
All right, cool. I have also got the M728 CEV because of its main gun that has an HE power of 8. That's more than most artillery pieces.
Yeah, I've got that as well. A stubby, funny-looking thing with a shovel and weird things on the back and a funny-looking turret. But it's really the weirdest-looking thing I've ever seen. But
well, it was designed after the World War II, and the shovel up front is mainly meant to design to take out tank traps and everything like that, because Germans were throwing tank traps at American tanks.
Yeah.
And that thing on the back is actually a crane, because these things do have actually high maintenance. They would break down all the time, so they actually had cranes on the back to pull any of their brethren that were broken down, which I thought was pretty cool that Eugen added this to its design.
Yeah, so as well as breaking down, they're extremely slow as well. So they're really slow and they break down. So yeah, the biggest problem I find with these is getting them into position before the actual war's over. But if you do get them into position, they are good.
Yeah, they'll say, nope, this area is mine.
Yeah. Anything else in the vehicles?
Nope, that's it for vehicles.
I've got some Zippos. Just some.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Yeah, I don't use them that often, but sometimes they come in useful, and they're quite cheap. They're not too expensive either, only 30 points, so yeah, got them.
It's also good for like fire position. They're pretty much like a smoke screen / damage area because of the napalm.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on to the Halos. Americans' fantastic selection of helicopters, of course.
Oh yeah. I've got 2 decks of 2 AH-64A Apaches. These are really, really excellent helicopters.
Right, so you got 2 decks of them. Wow.
2 cards of them, yeah. Yeah,
I've got them as well. Yeah, I've got them as well. I mean, they're just a really nice all-round attack chopper. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they actually had an Apache, when it was in this design concept, go through an obstacle course against the AH-1F Cobra and see how many tanks each one could take out. And the Cobra, I think, took out within the time frame something like 15 to 18 tanks, and the Apache took out 80.
Yeah, I'm a bit fed up that they don't give these to the British deck as well, actually, but because we've definitely got them in the British Army, but maybe we just bought them from the Americans. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
Although you have got Harriers, so yeah, goes both ways, I reckon.
Yep.
So what else have you got in the helicopters?
I've got the Super Cobras, because these are very, very good beginning helicopters. When you don't know exactly what the enemy's going to throw at you, it has infrared missiles and anti-tank missiles as well.
Yeah, really nice all-rounder. Not over-expensive considering the armaments that it carries, and it's so fast, 350 Ks. I don't know if there's any choppers faster than that, actually. It's really, really fast.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you've got the 2 best choppers basically. I've also got some OHs, some just pure anti-air choppers with the Stingers. Not the longest range or the best, but can be useful on the flanks and stuff just to stop people trying to sneak down.
Right. So yeah, those are my too expensive choppers. And then I've got a set of AH-1F Cobras.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the reason why is because I realized all my helicopters were so dang expensive. I probably wanted a helicopter that was relatively cheaper that I could bring in case they do have anti-air in the area, but I do need a helicopter there for support or something.
Yeah, and they've definitely got that Cobra look about them. I do like these. They're a nice all-round chopper. I did consider getting these instead of the OHs. I always got these in air-land battle, but there are better choppers now, but they're a nice all-round chopper, yeah.
Right. I picked these, but I don't really care about losing them.
Right, okay. Is that it for your choppers then, yeah?
That's it for my helicopters, yeah.
Now the aircraft, I'll let you run with this because I know you like your aircraft.
Yep. First off is the A-10A Thunderbolt. As we Americans call it, is the Warthog.
Yeah, as I call it, the Tank Buster. I think we call it the Tank Busters over here.
It actually has a lot of names. It's the Thunderbolt. It's referred to as the Warthog, the Tank Buster, and according to the Iraqis and Afghan people, it's referred to as the Monster. This thing just takes out tanks left and right.
Yeah, it's an amazing weapon, and I spoke to you about this one like a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I didn't even realise before it had this Avenger gun with an AP power of 6, which it unleashes all its bullets all at once into a tank, and just it'll tank out any tank pretty much in one
Right.
run.
Yeah, this entire plane is actually designed around that gun. That's actually kind of why the missiles don't make it, when it fires all its missiles, it doesn't go evac Winchester, because its main weapon is actually that minigun, that Gatling gun, which shoots depleted uranium rounds. And like you said, it's an AP power of 6. That's against top armor of tanks. How many tanks do you know have a top armor of 6?
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's also got some armour itself as well, which makes it fairly indestructible against sort of some light AA, although against heavy AA it can still be in problems.
Right. I mean, you're not going to fly these into like all those into a bunch of Strellas or whatever, like a line of anti-air. But if they have like just the skirts or whatever those BTR anti-air guns that Spetsnaz come in, these can probably take those out and then continue on their mission.
Yeah, and I have been trying these out a lot lately, and they are really effective as long as you use them properly. You're right.
Right. Their gun also empties really fast.
Yeah,
they don't even have a tenth of a clip.
Yeah, yeah. So what else have you got then in the plane run? Dare I ask? I know what you've got probably, but go ahead.
The F-117 Nighthawk.
Yeah, who wouldn't have this one? This is the best looking plane in the game as far as I'm concerned, or one of them.
Yep. This was especially proven itself useful in Desert Storm, flying deep into the heart of Baghdad, taking out command and control and getting out without the enemy even seeing them on radar. It's like I think Generation 1 or Generation 2 of American stealth design.
Yeah, and its bombs, or its rockets rather, make a big splash when you let them go, and it's so stealthy that the enemy is lucky to get a shot off at it as it evacs as soon as it's shot its missile off.
Right, laser guided high explosive bombs, but yeah.
Yeah. So, have you got the Raven?
Next up, I've got the Raven, and reason why it has got one of the longest seed ranges in the game, and in addition, it has ECM of 60.
Yeah,
so,
I've got this as well. It can take a lot of punishment. If you're really lucky, it can take a huge amount of punishment. Yeah, I love the look of it as well. It's nice to a player playing.
Right, very good for taking out pesky radar.
What other aircraft have you got? You must have some more, surely.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 sets of aircraft for air superiority. I've got the F-16C Block and the F-15A Eagle.
Okay.
And the reason why I have the F-15A Eagle instead of, like, say, the really expensive anti-air, if I can find it really quick,
Oh, you mean the other Eagle, the one? The 170-point one. Yeah.
Yeah, the F-15C Eagle. Reason why I did because the F-15A, it's cheaper. It actually has pretty decent stats all around, and its secondary missiles actually have a high explosive power of 6, while the other one has 5. But the other one has 5 on the other one too, so that's a bit of a trade-off. But I like to have higher damaging, longer range missiles when I bring in aircraft.
Yeah, a little bit safer. Yeah, cool.
And then, of course, brought in the F-16 block.
F-16 Block 52, that one, yeah?
Yeah, that's better dogfighting in case they have air superiority fighters of themselves.
Cool, excellent. Anything else? That's got to be
no, that's it for my aircraft.
Yeah, what about in your Navy? Well, I'll do my Navy quickly first, because basically for the Navy, I've gone a bit support. I haven't really got much of a Navy.
Well, what about your aircraft?
Well, that's it. We went through them. Nighthawk, Raven, and Thunderbolt. Those three.
Okay.
The three best ones. I mean, well, what more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
really get anti-air aircraft out much. I tend to rely much more on my ground-based anti-air, so yeah.
All right.
But as far as the Navy's concerned, I've gone heavy air again. I've got Tornadoes because they look absolutely awesome. I've got Super Hornets and F-11Gs, all anti-ship warfare planes. Have you got any anti-ship warfare planes in your deck?
No, I don't. I actually have went for ships. First off, the Oliver Hazard Perry. Reason why, this is an American ship, and I thought since it's an American deck, why not put an American ship in an American deck?
Yeah, I've got one set of them as well, just because I needed some sort of a ship with a command as well, so just in case. So yeah.
Right, and then I've also got some Lafayettes because I mean the French. Let's bring the French in. Really, bring their Navy ship in. I need a little better ship.
Well, it's a decent ship. It fires its missiles off four at a time, so a big salvo all at once. Although it does have to turn all the way around to fire the other four. And it's
That's not really that big of an issue.
It's got good AA and stuff. Although those Crotal missiles run out really fast when it's defending itself against anti-ship warfare missiles, so it needs a lot of supply as well.
That's why I have some LCUs to supply it. Cool. And then I have some Super Pumas to bring in because these are very good anti-ship helicopters.
Yeah, my last slot. I've gone for STRBs. Little.
Me too.
Little riverboat, just for the basically for the Hellfire missiles. It's got a little grenade launcher and a little Browning, but they don't really come into play too much. But it's just the Hellfire missiles are pretty decent on this little boat. Right,
but if they've got infantry in like a building nearby, you can bring these up a river and support like infantry with those frag grenades. They're like free LTP for me, whatever you have in your Marines.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that's it, isn't it? So finally, I'm going to do one last thing, and that's you've got to pick your best unit in the American. Wow. I am going to go for the Nighthawk. You've got to choose something different than me. I'm going for the Nighthawk.
Okay.
What are you going for? One unit.
One unit.
You can have the Nighthawk as well if you really think that's the best.
Well, it is the best.
Okay, yeah. So we both agree the Nighthawk's the best unit in the American deck, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. And on that note, I think we'll finish. Thanks very much, Silver.
Thank you, Bubblebox. I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, cheers.